Super Auto Pets. This game is gaining a crazy amount of popularity thanks to big content creators such as Northern Lion, Ludwig, Stand, Dangerously Funny. With so many new players coming into the game, it's easy for these deers in the headlight to get, for lack of better words, lost in the sauce. And for that reason, I, someone who plays this game every day, decided to make a tier list live on my Twitch stream. It's a pretty in-depth analysis of what all the pets do, how they work well with each other, and where they currently stand in the metagame. If you're a beginner, you're in the right place. Take some time to learn what works and what doesn't. And hey, if you're an expert, tell me what I got wrong. What should I have put in the S tier? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, I'd love to hear them. And with that, let's get into the video. Yeah, Ant, S tier. This tier list is going to be based on where you receive and when you receive the animals. So I think Ant is probably the best like tier 1 pet you can get. Ant will definitely win you games. When it dies, it gives a pet behind it like +2/+1 buff. Yeah, Ant easily S tier, but only considering you get it so early. Apple is pretty bad. It's like it gives you a +1/+1, but it's so slow you don't want to spend 3 gold on a +1/+1. There are definitely better options. Badger, I believe, has been underrated in the past. Anthony putting Ant first. Not biased whatsoever. I swear to God, Ant is S tier. Badger has been underrated in the past. And some people know I have a bit of an obsession with this unit. I'm putting it in A tier. I actually think it's really good. When it dies, it deals its damage to the pet in front and behind. So it harms your own pets as well. But since you have that knowledge, you can mitigate that. And you can have sort of like damage limitation. And when it levels up, its damage is doubled and tripled. I think it's super good. You can just put it at the back, put honey on it, and it gets you free wins. I'm going to put it in A tier. It wins you so many rounds in the mid game. And you can even transition it to late game, like putting it in the front. Beaver is, I'd say B or C. It's like low B, maybe C. No, I'll put it in B tier. So it's a tier 1, and when you sell it, it gives 2 pets 1 health. It's okay as like if you're doing a buy-sell strategy with like pets that benefit from you buying and selling things, but you're not gonna run a beaver in your squad. I'm gonna put it in C for now. Bison's probably S tier. Bison is like, I mean, Bison is the meta. Like Bison is the most consistent scaler you're gonna find, which is why in the early game you want to find pairs of units. You want to like get a lot of one unit and try leveling it up to level 3, because when you have a level 3 pet, the Bison gets +2/+2 every turn. Yeah, Bison's just the most consistent scaling engine, which is why it's probably S tier. Pufferfish used to be bad, I think. But there's been a resurgence in the meta of pufferfish and hedgehogs, which makes me want to put it in B tier. When the pufferfish gets hurt, it deals 2 damage to a random enemy. So what people have been doing recently is get a hedgehog, which when it dies damages everyone for 2 damage, which is going to trigger your own unit to deal 2 damage to the enemy. It's definitely a fun strategy. It's probably not as strong as some other metas, but it will get you 10 wins. It can. I'm going to put in B for now. Camel is also another hurt trigger pet, but I think it's probably C tier. I don't think it's as good as the pufferfish, as the blowfish. When the camel gets hurt, it gives HP and attack to the person behind it. The problem with the camel is you get it really early, and you get it at a stage where there aren't many scalers in the game. So it's hard to support your camel enough for it to be useful. Can is probably B tier. You only want to use the can when you know you're going to replace stuff in your squad. And if you're in that position, you're probably not in the best position. But like for example, can and black cat is very good, because what the black cat does is it doubles the effect of food. So if you have a black cat and you can start spamming cans, suddenly the things in your shop are going to be crazy high stats, which is why the cat's probably A tier. Food meta is one of the one of the biggest metas with, you know, worm and seal and stuff like that, and rabbit. So cat can help that a lot. And even if you're not running a food meta build, cat is pretty good. So it's going to be A tier. Chili, I'll also put it in B tier. Having splash damage is really useful. It gets rid of like melon armor and other stuff, and it kills like summoned units really easily. Chocolate, obviously S tier. You know, it's like the main way you're gonna level up the tier 6 late game units. So chocolate, yeah, chocolate gonna be S tier. Cow also S tier. Cow is just so good for like so many reasons. S tier is probably reserved for like you see a pet and you buy it maybe like 60% of the time or more. Because that's definitely true for the units I put there already. Cow, when you buy it, it gives you 2 free milk jugs in the shop. And you buy them for free. And it's a free +2 +1. So you get +2 +4 for free, basically, for 3 gold. It's really good. And like, it's another unit that you can buy and sell, and it works in synergy with food and like buy sell strats. It's really good. Crab has been changed so that now its health is not directly copied to the highest health unit in the party. It's only copied when you buy it, which has its benefits but also mostly cons. I think it was probably better before. I think it was actually an A tier unit. Now I'll put it in B. I think it's still usable. Cricket, likewise, I'm putting in B. Okay, this is a spoiler. I think Honey Pot is an S tier item. I think honey can give you free wins, and a cricket is basically like built-in honey where it dies and then it spawns a 1/1 cricket. However, like a honey is much less opportunity cost than having a whole unit taking up your spot, but I'd still say the cricket is decent early game. Croc, I didn't really respect the Croc before, but the meta has sort of shifted now to more snipers, so I think Croc can be B tier. It's like low B in my opinion, B or C. I'll keep it in B for now. B tier is already getting kind of stacked though. Cupcake, not amazing. Although there's a new strategy coming out with the crab and the cupcake where you just cupcake a unit, so it gets temporary stats. And it gets temporary stats, but the crab can copy those temporary stats and they become permanent. So for that reason, I'll put the cupcake in C. Deer is probably an A tier unit. Deer is like the go-to unit for summon builds. It spawns a 5/5 bus at level 1, which is already good, but the bus has splash damage, and I mean it's free splash damage that you don't have to buy, so it's really valuable. Dodo used to be broken, now it's like C tier. Instead of giving like its attack and then when it levels up it gives double its attack, now it only gives half its attack and then its attack. It's in theory okay, but it takes too long. Dodo more like doo-doo. So true, so base, Zach. Actually so true. Yeah, Dodo, I don't really respect it anymore. Same with Dog. So Dog used to be kind of really good, and everyone was running Dog build. I ran a Dog build earlier today, but the problem with Dog now is that they moved it 1 tier up, so you get it later in the game, so you start scaling it a lot slower. I think it's Dog more like dog shit. He's crazy. How does he do it? Oh my god, his jokes never miss. Yeah, the Dog, I'm gonna put it in C tier for now. I think I just have a personal vendetta against the Dog because I played so much when the Dog was like everywhere. Dolphin is kind of similar with the Croc, although I think the Dolphin might be a little bit better because its damage is targeted towards the lowest health unit. So what they both do is the Croc hits the last unit on the enemy's team, but the Dolphin hits the lowest health unit, which is probably better because it's more likely to get you a kill. That being said, a lot of the time, if you're running against like a summon build, there's going to be a turkey or a fly in the back, in which case having a Croc, which is high leveled, is pretty good. So I'm going to put both of them in B. Dragon is A tier. I know you get it late, and that's why a lot of people don't like it. But I think if your squad is flexible and you have like a free spot and you have a lot of flexibility, the Dragon can be really good to scale wide. Like typically you want to scale high, but if you can, you want like something that scales itself and also a Dragon assisting it. And yeah, Dragon is just really good synergy for like things like the Dog or the Buffalo that have buy sell strats. Yeah, so I think Dragon is pretty good. I'm putting it in A. Duck is I mean, I'm sorry, but duck is dog water. They nerfed the duck to the ground, right? Because the duck used to be OP. It used to be duck, dodo, and rooster, but everyone was running that, so they had to change it. So now they made the duck garbage again, which I think is fine. You know, the duck has its place. Elephant joining the duck. Um, what the elephant does is before it attacks, it hits the unit behind you for 1 damage. And the elephant is such beginner bait, right? Because you see the elephant and you see like the camel, and you think like, oh, the elephant's gonna deal 1 damage to the camel, and the camel gets hit by 1 damage, so it's gonna heal the unit behind him. And you kind of create this like Rube Goldberg machine, but it's not good, and it can win you games very early, but it falls off so quickly. It's just not worth it. Elephant bad. Fish A tier. Because fish is like the only tier 1 pet in the standard pack that has 2-3 stats. So having 3 health early on is fantastic, because nothing, like, if you don't affect any of the stats of the units in tier 1, nothing can one-shot the fish. Nothing has 3 attack. Except the pig, but you don't want to run a pig because pigs are kind of garbage. So the fish most of the time is gonna get 2 attacks off, which is why it's A tier. Just plain and simple. Also, like, you want to level up a fish to get some wide scaling. It gives everyone +1/+1. It's good. Flamingo is C tier. However, it does have its uses. Like, you can play a flamingo and pill it, and the people behind you, the 2 units behind, get +1/+1. But you're never gonna run a flamingo in your squad forever. So it's C tier, but it has its uses. Fly, I'm gonna put an A tier. So they nerfed the fly so that it only gets 3 triggers, right? So when something dies, the fly makes a 5/5 fly replace that unit. But it only happens 3 times now. However, the fly having 5/5 stats is not bad. Like, you're gonna end up getting 15 stats out of 1 fly. It's okay. Especially if you level it up more. So I'd put it in an A tier. Also, just the synergy is clear. You need fly for a summon build with a turkey and a tiger, and you know, it's like the oldest archetype in the game, but that's how it is. Maybe I don't need this D tier, to be honest, but we'll keep it for now. I think I've got like a nice like bell curve going on here, and then there's just this one lowly apple. Garlic is definitely at least A tier, might be S tier. What the garlic does is that it reduces damage you take by 2. So early game it's broken, because if even if like a unit has 3 attack, which often it will, it's still only going to do 1 damage. So garlic is really good, especially if you're going against summon builds and stuff like that. Garlic is super useful, and you kind of need it in most of your runs. I want to respect the giraffe more than I do. I also just hate giraffes in real life, but that's a whole different thing. Okay, pause. My in real life bias against giraffes might have influenced my decision here on the tier list. Realistically, giraffes are probably more towards low B tier. I think I underrated scalers a little bit too much on this list. Since then, I've come to respect the giraffe a little bit more. But yeah, just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna put the giraffe in D. Like, it's one of the earliest scalers you're gonna get, but its scaling is so slow, and it kind of just takes up a space in your party. Like, the giraffe scaling is really slow. It's high D tier. It's either high D tier or like low C. Because they're weird. Look at their necks. That's unnatural. Absolutely r/giraffes don't exist. I frequent that subreddit. That's neckist? Fine. Fine. I will happily hold that torch. Gorilla, I'm also gonna put in D tier because Gorilla you just get too late. Like, it's a tier 6, and its ability is good, but it's only really good when you get it to level 3, and it's super hard to get a Gorilla to level 3 because of this stage of the game you get it. And yeah, it needs a lot of support because it needs to sustain hits for the coconut thing to activate. But yeah, you just can't run it when you get it so late. Hedgehog. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It might be too high for it. I'm putting it in B tier. The hedgehog deserves to go right next to the pufferfish, but the hedgehog could probably go A tier. Like, hedgehog pufferfish builds are fun and they also work. So, yeah, I think, especially early, hedgehog dealing 2 damage to everyone will like shred some teams, especially because you know that you have a hedgehog, so you're probably gonna garlic everything. It's also just good for like getting rid of melon armor and things like that. Like, hedgehog's pretty solid. Hippo is also gonna be B tier, I think. Like, I think most of your runs needs a heavy hitter that's gonna have high stats and is gonna carry you through the game. Hippo can be one of them. Like, my closest level 3 B run today was featuring a hippo. So yeah, hippo is good. However, it needs a lot of support, which is sometimes hard to get. So yeah, it could be A tier, it could be low A, but I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. Because you kind of need like a monkey or something to support it, and you know, you don't always get that. Horse is D or C. I'm gonna put it in C. Look, the horse used to be terrible because it was like a 1/1, but they gave it 2 attack, so now it can actually trade with stuff. And I'm gonna say it, horse cricket has never been scarier than right now, but I'm still gonna rate the horse kind of low. Yeah, look, I just think horse cricket is okay early, but it falls off very quickly. And like the horse falls off very quickly as well, but it can win you games in like the first 3 turns. Kangaroo similarly is like C tier. Like, I think kangaroo used to be really good, and then they made it so it was a 1/2, which is like not good stats, and it also needs a lot of support. It can be good situationally, like if you have an ox or something, but for now I'm gonna put it in C. Leopard I think is amazing. When you're like making perfect teams, right? When everyone has melon armor and they're all 50/50s, I think you need a leopard. Like if you watch any like pro sap tournament or whatever, you're gonna see a ton of leopards because they do like crazy damage off rip in the start of the round. It's definitely hard to get a high enough attack with the leopard, but if you already have like, for example, a monkey or something like that, or like a dodo with a leopard, it's extremely good. Mammoth is gonna be D tier. Like, mammoth mushroom is definitely a strat, but again, mammoth, like the gorilla, you just get it too late. Meat, B tier, can win you games early. It just adds 5 attack to your pet. Early on, it can win you games you're not meant to win, so yeah. Melon S tier. Melon's like the best equipment in the game. Negates 20 damage. I mean, it's so good that like everything needs melon at the end, to be honest. Milk just goes with the cow. No explanation needed. Monkey also S tier. Okay. Mosquito, B tier. Mosquito is B tier because at the start of the round it shoots for 1 damage, which on early turns can be good because there's a lot of things with only 1 health, like the ant, like the pig, like the horse. And yeah, mosquito, you need to get a bit lucky, but yeah, it's good. Mushroom is A tier. There's a lot of things you can do with a mushroom. For example, you can put it on a deer, you can put it on a sheep to spawn extra stuff, put it on a mammoth, you can put it on a lot of things. Mushroom is A tier. There's a lot of utility you can get out of it. Otter is also B tier, I think. It can juice up your units early. Yeah, otter fish is pretty good. I'd put otter in B tier for sure. Ox is A tier. Ox will win you the mid game for sure. You can pill stuff in front of it to increase its attack. You can put stuff that summons stuff in front of it and it'll increase it. It's pretty good. Early melon armor is super strong because it's super hard to get early melon armor, which is why turtle's also really highly rated. Parrot is B tier. There are a lot of uses for a parrot, like sniping. Like you can put a parrot behind a dolphin or a croc. You can put it behind a deer. You could even put it behind stuff like a hedgehog or a leopard. Can be good, especially if you level it up early. But I think most of the time you won't run a parrot, but I think there's definitely a lot of utility you can get out of it. Peacock I think is D tier. Like, it buffs attack when it gets hurt, right? But I just don't think it gets to attack enough times. Like, health is the more important stat. You want it to buff health, not attack. Which is why I think Peacock needs too much support, and like, even if you put garlic on it, it's not going to do enough for you. It's D tier, in my opinion. Pear is like A tier, not S tier, A tier. Just having a +2/+2 is pretty nice for 3 gold. And yeah, it's like, you know, for food meta, you need pears and whatever. Penguin, I'm gonna put in either A or B. I'm gonna put it in B. Yeah, I'm gonna say I was completely wrong about this one. Honestly, Penguin could be S tier or high A tier. Its scaling is so important and has got me out of a lot of shitty situations. So yeah, Penguin definitely needs to be higher. And I'm surprised I ranked it so low considering it's my favorite animal. I think Monkey is still far better than a Penguin, but if you get a level 2 Penguin, I think it's very good. What did I think about Dragon? Dragon is A tier. Dragon's A tier. Okay, you fucking... You can't say, what did you think about Dragon, if you're trying to make me say Dragon. That's not how a D's Nuts joke works. You're like defeating the purpose of it. Fucking got him regardless. Get out of here. Okay. Pig is D tier. It's nice that it has 3 attack because it can like trade with a fish, but its ability is like not great. It's only really good if you're just buying and selling stuff for like the dragon or the dog. So yeah, pig is probably D tier. Pizza, I'm gonna put in A. It's like an upgraded salad. But I find that like, I mean, pizza's good for like black cat stuff. I'm gonna put it in B though. I feel like most of the time there's other stuff you could be buying. Rabbit, also B tier. It's like an early scaler. It scales HP. It's nice for food meta. But I don't think food meta is crazy strong right now, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Otherwise, it could be higher. Rat is dog water. When rat dies, it spawns a 1/1 rat on the enemy team, which you can lose to. Pizza is upgraded salad. Bro, what is this next level diet science? This game is gonna make you talk like an absolute maniac. Yeah, pizza gives +2/+2 to 2 units. Salad gives +1/+1 to 2 units, so it's an upgraded salad. Yes, Tommy famous for not talking like a maniac. Rhino is gonna go in the B tier. I think Rhino is very similar to Hippo. It needs a lot of support, but it can carry your runs. They do different things, but in essence, I think they're both heavy hitters. Rooster, I'm putting a lot of things in the B tier, man. Yeah. Rooster's B tier. It used to be like S tier, but now I think since you can only get half of its attack, it's not as good. But I still think Rooster, maybe it's A tier. Rooster could still be A tier. Like, if you get it to level 3, the fact that it spawns 3 25 damage chicks is like pretty big. So I'm gonna put it in A. It's like you want it in the late game, but you don't want it in the mid game. Like you want to reap the rewards of it, but you don't want to go through actually scaling it and everything. I think salad's probably C tier. I think targeted buffs are much better than random buffs, which is why I put pizza in B. Scorpion is S tier. Scorpion's like the highest value unit you can get for 3 gold. Like, it insta-kills somebody and you only need to spend 3 gold. Also, Mushroom Scorpion is like huge now, and I think it's super good because you put a mushroom on a scorpion and you're up against like a 50-50 with melon armor. The scorpion's gonna break the melon armor with the mushroom, come back alive with the death touch, and kill the 50-50. It's a very good strat that's being popularized right now. Seal is fun, but it's probably C tier. Like, it's usable. It could be low B tier. I'm gonna put it in high C, I think. Like, for food meta, you can like try to buff your seal with food and rabbit and whatnot, and it gives buff to 2 other people. Shark is dog water. It's dog water or D tier. It's probably D tier. I mean, shark can be okay. However, like shark is better in a summon build when you summon a lot of stuff and then they die and then the shark gets buffed. But the problem with the shark is that it doesn't gain health. It gains more attack than it does health. So at the end, you just have a high attack damage unit in the back, but it's gonna get one shot basically. And anyways, you want your big units to be in the front, not in the back. So that's why shark is kind of bad. Sheep is interesting. Sheep is B tier probably. It's good to have in summon builds, but otherwise maybe not. There's been an interesting strategy recently where you can get your sheep to level 2, you pill it, you get 2 level 2 rams, combine those 2 rams, you get a level 3 for free. It's like good if you want to get the achievement or maybe get a quick bison scaling, but otherwise it's I don't know. It's probably B tier, but it's high B tier. Shrimp Scampi's dog water. I apologize to any Northern Lion viewers. I know he loves the Scampi. It's not good. It's just not good. Its benefit is not enough for the goal you have to spend. Skunk is A tier. Skunk has become more popular recently, and the ability to reduce your opponent's health by 33%, or 66%, or 99% is crazy good. Like a level 3 Skunk literally brings any unit to 1 health. And if you use it in conjunction with a leopard or a porcupine even, it's really, really strong. Pill has got to be like A tier. I mean, there's so many things you can use to get a pill. Ayo, toss in a super hot take clickbait the YouTube video. I said which unit was S tier? What can I put in S tier? I don't know, man. I think people are always gonna disagree with some part of my tier list, which is fine. Hello, sand on my face. Welcome to the stream. Yo, how is Dragon not S tier? Well, I put it in A tier. That's pretty close, man. Okay, look. The reason why it's not S tier is because you get it really late, and sometimes your squad is going to be full and you don't have room for 2 free slots. Like, if you're going to use a dragon, you need a dragon slot and you need a free slot to buy tier 1 pets. Sometimes if you have like turkey, tiger, fly, deer, sheep, you're not going to have room for the dragon. A lot of times when you're already at tier 6, you don't have a lot of flexibility. But I still respect the dragon a lot. Yeah, this is for arena. If it was versus, for sure dragon would be. If it was versus, a lot of things would be different. Like rooster probably S, leopard S, dragon S. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think versus is very different to arena. But yeah, for now, arena, dragons S. Also because like versus goes on for longer, right? And like in arena, you don't have a lot of time. Yeah, sloth obviously is S tier. I mean, actually, brief history lesson. The reason why we ranked like the highest tier of S is because sloth starts with S. That's actually how it originated. Like sloth created the S tier on its own. That's how good it is. For those of you who don't know, sloth is basically like a shiny Pokemon. It's super rare to get. Hey, thank you for the follow. But yeah, sloth is like shiny Pokemon, super rare to get. If you get it, you buy it. That's like #1 rule. Snail is probably S tier. Like the snail is the super auto pets version of like a lose recovery mechanic, right? And it's just really good to help you rebound from like a hard loss. Snails probably has to be S tier. Yeah, Snail's really good. Like the speed run, for example, for super auto pets, like I think it's like 2 minutes or something. Like the speed run just freezes like 5 snails, loses 1 round, buys all of the snails, juices up your pets. Snail's super good. Snake is gonna be A tier, I think. Snake plus tiger is, you know, a strategy that's been around for a long time. Snake is super good behind any like 50/50 melon armor unit. It snipes for 5 damage on a random unit. I'd say Snake is probably only really good if it has a tiger behind it or if it's at level 2, which is not always easy to get, but I think like regardless, Snake is pretty good to buy. Spider, I know there are some things you can do with a spider. I'm gonna put it in C tier though. I just think it's probably not worth all of the RNG involved. Like, most of the time you just end up getting like a 2-2 rabbit or like a 2-2 snail. Like, rarely ever do you get the turtle or the sheep. So, yeah, spider's gonna be C tier for me. Squirrel, I think the squirrel, like, when they were changing it, I think it used to be better. Before it was garbage, and then it got better, and then it got garbage again. Like, what it does now is that it discounts your shop food at the start of the turn, but you're kind of just having an animal in your team, which is basically useless, except it discounts for 1 gold for only 2 food items. It was better when it replaced the whole shop with food, because then at least you could run like a food meta where you get any food you desire, right? But now you only get 2 slots for food. It's like not that good. Steak is pretty good value. I'm gonna put steak in the A tier. Yeah, I think if you have like a shitty unit in the front who needs to do big damage, you can just give it a steak. It's pretty good. Boar, I think some people think it's better than it is. Like, you get it so late, and it needs a lot of support. Yeah, boar is pretty bad. I might put a C tier, to be honest. Like, you can do tiger boar, which is okay, but I think if you want to run a boar, you kind of need like a level 2 monkey, like existing in your squad already to have a boar work out for you. So yeah, boar is kind of, you know, whatever. However, I do think this is expansion pack though. If you pill an eagle and get a level 3 boar, it's not bad because your boar already gets +6/+6 because it's at level 3. But yeah, like aside from that, I think boar is hard to use. It's similar to like gorilla mammoth and yeah, but I think it's probably a little bit better than gorilla mammoth. Sushi is like okay, it's probably B tier. You get good value out of it if you're using like a bunny or a bunny or a rabbit, a bunny or a black cat. Boar is the worst unit to get from an eagle. Sauropod? Maybe? I mean, it really depends. Like, I have a YouTube video on my channel, link in the about me, where I do a level 3 eagle challenge, right? And I've gotten a few wins with the boar. Like, it will shred through summon builds, at least. I think it's better than gorilla. Mammoth is pretty good if you get it out of an eagle because it gives everyone like +6/+6. But it's not good if you're not getting it at level 3. Swan has to be S tier in my opinion. In the standard pack, it's the only unit that will like help improve your economy, and I think that's super valuable. Swan also just has decent stats for a tier 2, and yeah, I think Swan is S tier like a lot of runs. And if you're doing like challenge builds, especially where you need to roll a lot, I think a Swan is very important. Tiger, I think, has to be S tier. I mean, so many good builds just like revolve around Tiger, like Tiger Snake, Tiger Turkey, and like and all this stuff, like Tiger Hippo, Tiger Rhino. Tiger has just so much utility. You can use it with so many different units. As long as it like doesn't get sniped. Tiger, yeah, okay, sure. Actually, I do think you can Tiger Chain. If Tiger is S, Fly should definitely be S. I think Fly could be S. I think that it's worse now that it only has 3 triggers. But the buff and health is nice. I don't know. I think, like, Fly has 20/20 in stats. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I probably do agree with you. I think that, like, the Tiger is easier to implement into a squad than a Fly is. Like Fly is very specifically only summon build, really, but Tiger can fit with most things. Like, if you look at my S tier, like, these units are not, like surrounded or, like, focused on a specific archetype. Like, it's units you can implement into most builds and it'll be beneficial. I get what you're saying though. Like the summon build is probably an S tier build. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep flying A tier. But I mean, fly is really good. Fly can be put in any build, but it's not as effective in any build than as a tiger. I still think fly is super good though. Don't get me wrong. Turkey is probably with the fly. Turkey fly probably go right next to each other. They go hand in hand. Although Turkey could probably be pushed into S tier. Like, I think you can have a summon build without a fly, but a summon build without a turkey, like, is not good. I'll probably put Turkey in S. Also, even if you're not running a summon build, like having a turkey and buying a new unit and it getting an immediate +3/+3 is kind of nice. Also, it just comes earlier than a fly, so it's easier to like get your summon build up and running. But for sure, I think fly is very important. Turtle is very good. Like, I think some people play the game and they don't realize how good the turtle is. The ability to get early melon armor, like before it's available in the shop, yeah, I completely agree. It has to be S tier. I mean, turtle is just so good. Like, there are a lot of strats that revolve around the turtle as well. Like, you can, the expansion pack included, like, turtle and microbe is pretty broken. It's hard to beat a turtle microbe build. Turtle and caterpillar, because the only way to get melon armor onto your butterfly is using a turtle. So, even just like having a unit that can be buffed with stats and also drop melon armor when it dies is super strong. It wins you in the early game, it wins you in the late game. Like, turtle is one of the best units in the game, for sure. Whale definitely was downgraded because it's a tier 4 now, so you get it a lot later. And I think for its effect, like, I think you can do some fun stuff with like whale deer, whale hedgehog. Like, it's fun, but I think ultimately whale's probably C tier. Could be even lower, to be honest. And then finally the worm. I'm gonna put in, it's either high B or low A, maybe A tier. Like, I don't think the worm sucks, man. I definitely don't think the worm sucks. I think the worm's good. I think because it scales pretty quickly, especially if you have a rabbit. I think worm, like, especially if you're playing an expansion pack, there's more food related units, like the ladybug, for example. And I think if you're like buffing something with food, it already gets a stat buff, and then the worm adds on top of that. I think it's like, if you give the worm a pear, it gets a +3/+3 for just 3 gold, and that's only at level 1. I think that's pretty good. I could move it into the B tier, but it's probably high B at least, you know. This tier list is not like sorted internally within its tiers, although I could try quickly doing that. I think like sloth is easily the best. Monkey, scorpion, tiger, turtle are all like top 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add a 5th one. Snail, maybe. Snail or cow. Something like that. Swan is pretty good too. I mean everything in the S tier is pretty good. But yeah, that's gonna be the tier list. If anyone has any like reservations or thinks something is wrong, you can tell me. But I think this is pretty good. What do you guys think? Before you tell me though, let's see how I ranked the expansion pack animals. I'm only gonna do the expansion pets because I already did the whatever. We'll put the sloth in though. Green beetle I think is A. Okay, look. If the reason I'm putting fish in A tier is because it's a 2/3 and it has a high health stat, I think green beetle similarly also has to be A tier. And I think its effect is not bad. Like, if you feed it food, it gives pets in the shop +1 health. It can be okay, but most of the time I think you end up feeding the ladybug instead, which I think is also A tier. Like, I think these two have good synergy. A lot of my early game expansion pack runs involve these two pets for my turn 1s. Like, I think if you already just honeypot a ladybug, it becomes a 4/2 with honeypot at the back. It's really good. And honeypot's S tier because it wins you games. So these two A tier. Bluebird, I think I'll put it into, it's either A or B. I don't think it's S tier. I mean, Bluebird can be really good. So it's kind of like a tier 1 monkey where instead of buffing the unit in the front, it buffs the unit in the back for only one attack. I think if you get like a level 3 Bluebird early and you have something like a Rooster, like Bluebird Rooster could be kind of good. I could consider putting in A. I'm going to put it in high B for now. Where are we? Tabby Cat. Okay. I feel like I've been sucked into the Tabby Cat trap a lot. Where you see like all of these tier 1 pets. You're like, oh, Beetle, Ladybug, Tabby Cat, they all like food. And then you buy all of them and then you end up having a party with only tier 1 and tier 2 pets. And it's not that good because these two only give temporary stats. I'm moving the Tabby Cat to C, I think. I think it can be run for like 1 round, but I don't think it's that good. Bat is... I think Bat used to be better when weakness was better, but they nerfed weakness. So I think Bat is still probably A tier because the ability to rewrite equipment is super, super good. But I think it can be hard to get Bat to level 3. But when it's at level 3 and you rewrite like half of the opponent's team's equipment, it's super good. So I'll put Bat in A tier. A or high B. What am I doing? Dromedary. My god. Okay. So Dromedary is an interesting one. I used to think it sucked. And then I started watching some Pro Sap tournaments. And a lot of people seem to like doing this Dromedary strategy where they create a back to tank and they freeze units in their shop and they run a Dromedary for a few rounds and the unit starts getting buffed. I think it has its place, and also its stats for a tier 2 are very good. So I think you can run a Dromedary until the mid game and then you probably have to sell it. But yeah, I think a Dromedary could be good. I believe Hatching Chick is S tier. I think Hatching Chick, similar to the Scorpion, is like an easy buy and an easy sell. Like you don't have to invest anything into it for it to be good. You just get a lot of value out of it right away. It gives 5+5+5 to the unit in front, which is targeted buffing, which is really good. So I think Hatching Chick is probably S, just because of its flexibility and its usefulness. What else is expansion pack? What else do we have here? Chicken is standard.
Yeah, so I'm dumb. Chicken is most definitely in the expansion pack. If I was gonna have to rate it, I'd probably put it in the B tier. It has really good synergy with dragons. If you buy a tier 1 pet, future pets in your shop gets a +1/+1. It's kind of hard to incorporate into your team sometimes, but when you have the flexibility, it can absolutely just carry your run and super juice your shop pets. But yeah, because it's so hard to use sometimes, it's gonna be in the B tier.
Lobster, I didn't know what the lobster did until a few days ago, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, lobster is kind of like a turkey, except it doesn't have the effect in game. In battle, I mean. It only buffs your units when you buy them. So it's kind of like bad, but you can use it if you're pivoting really hard and you need new units. But I think the lobster is pretty dog water. Like, I think most people have never bought a lobster. I'd say it's pretty bad. I mean, I've tried using it and I have not succeeded. So, but maybe I'm bad. Who knows? Llama? I actually really like the llama. I've had a few llama 10 wins. I think llama, maybe only for arena. I wouldn't say llama is good in versus. I think llama's B tier. Like, you need to only have 4 pets in your party, but it's definitely worse than a bison for sure. But having a +2/+2 is nice, and it gives you the flexibility to buy and sell stuff in the free slot. It could be C. I'm gonna put it in B for now. I've had success with it. What else do we have? Poodle, I think, is really good. Poodle could be S tier. Poodle is kind of like a penguin, but I think the criteria for getting the buff is easier. Like, if you can plan ahead and get different tier pets, Poodle's super, super good. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I think it's really strong. Yeah, it's like, I think expansion pack, like, The big scalers, Poodle and T-Rex, are both really strong. What other expansion pack do we have here? Goat. I think like Goat can be okay if you're running like a... I've definitely skipped something. Oh yeah, I've skipped this guy. The Buffalo. Like, I think Goat can be okay if you're running a Buffalo and doing buy-sell stuff, but most of the time you're not. And anyway, like, it's just taking up a slot. Like, you're getting more gold, but like, when you go in a battle, you're still gonna have a Goat, which is, like, pretty shit battle-wise. It's, like, reminiscent of a Sauropod, but I think it's even worse than a Sauropod, to be honest. Well, maybe not. Yeah, because you need so much space to run a Goat. I don't know. Goat is not good. Eagle! My pride and joy. The Eagle has been slept on for too long. I think getting a level 3 Eagle, giving it a mushroom and pilling it is one of the most fun strats in the game, and it's actually really pog. It like gets you wins. Eagle is super, super good, and it's probably like one of the only ways you're ever gonna get a level 3 Octopus, which is like huge. Honestly, I want to put Eagle in S tier because I love the Eagle. I'm gonna keep it in A tier though. If you want to see how the Eagle is so good, check out my YouTube video on my YouTube channel. And yeah. Microbe, I'm gonna put in B tier. Like, especially if you're playing versus. But yeah, Microbe, B tier. In versus, it's super good. Microbe plus Turtle is a super strong strat that is almost impossible to beat if you like play it to perfection. But it's also super hard to get because of that. Like, you're never like gonna get it a lot, I'd say. So I'm gonna put Microbe in B. But when it works, it's like super S tier. And is Sauropod expansion pack? It is, isn't it? Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Well, then it's probably next to the Goat. The Goat is quite ironically named because it's not the Goat at all. Yeah, like, I've used it before, right? After I pilled an Eagle and I got a level 3 Sauropod, I've used it and, like, it was fun, but it wasn't that good. But I mean, you know, it has, like, 12 HP when you spawn it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, no, it's not amazing. And then I think finally, no, the last two. I mean, look, in practice, the Octopus is like down here because it's just an 8/8 with no upside when you buy it. When you pill it with an Eagle, it's up here because you get it at level 3 with the ability ready, and it just shreds through teams, and it's like my favorite unit, the Octopus. Yeah, I like Octopus is super fun. I think you should always try to go for it once in your life, but it's hard to get for sure. I'm gonna put it like C. Yeah, I'll put it in C because it's like the average of the two scenarios. And then T-Rex, I think most people will put in S tier. Like, the wide scaling is really nice. Saving 3 gold is kind of okay when you're in the late game because a lot of the time your units are already like set up with equipment and you don't need to like pivot or move around so much, so you don't need to spend so much gold. You kind of just need to scale and like maybe find like a melon armor or mushroom or chocolate or something. So I think at the stage of the game you get the T-Rex is okay to save 3 gold, and like the scaling is so nice. Even though they nerfed it, I think it's still probably S tier. So yeah, I think that's all the expansion pack animals, right?
No, not right. I forgot the owl. And surprisingly, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Because for a tier 3 pet, its stats are really good compared to the other tier 3 pets in the expansion pack. And for its purpose as a buy-sell unit, it's like the ultimate buy-sell unit. It's like double an otter. So yeah, B tier.
So yeah, that is going to be my Super Auto Pets tier list.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you disagreed with anything I said, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to flame me in real time, check out my Twitch channel, array_22. I stream Super Auto Pets and Pokemon and a variety of different other games. I stream 6 days a week. So yeah, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.